Imagine paying double the rent, living in a house that feels like a prison, and being told cops would drag you out if you ever came back to visit your own partner. That was my life. But what this greedy, controlling landlord didn't know was that her little empire was about to come crashing down, legally and beautifully. If you've ever felt powerless against someone abusing their position, a landlord, a boss, anyone, then hit that like button. Subscribe, because this isn't just a story of rent and rules. This is a story of taking your power back. I was 21, first time living away from home. Me and my partner had found what seemed like an okay place to rent, an old house divided into rooms. The landlord? Let's call her Sandra. She was in her late 40s, always with this sharp, calculating look in her eyes. The kind of person who smiled at you while measuring exactly how much she could take from you without snapping the thread. At first, we ignored the small things, like how she charged couples double. It's just the rules, she'd say with that fake sweetness. Or how one of the girls in the house was living in a room without a single window, something completely illegal in Canada. But we were young, naive, and desperate for a place to stay. Things really turned dark when we gave her notice. Just under 2 months. That's when the mask came off. Suddenly, dishes in the sink weren't just dishes. They were a personal offense. Doors creaking open at night. She'd come storming down the stairs like a prison warden. The house stopped feeling like a home. It became surveillance. And when summer came, I decided to move back to my parents for a few months to save money. That's when she went full dictator. She texted me one night, "If you come back to visit your partner, I'll have the cops drag you out." She started camping out in the basement, literally watching who went where, until everyone retreated to their rooms. Emotional state. I remember lying awake that night at my parents' house, hands clenched, jaw tight. You know that feeling when your stomach burns and your chest feels heavy? It wasn't just anger. It was this gnawing sense of being cheated, disrespected, powerless. But that's the thing about people like Sandra. They underestimate how quietly someone can build a case against them. The breaking point in planning revenge. I started documenting everything. Texts, pictures, stories from other tenants, the windowless room, the illegal overcharging of couples, the threats, the harassment. One girl was scared to speak up because she was new to Canada. I wasn't. I spent weeks digging through tenant rights forums, Reddit threads, even called the local tenants association. Turns out, this woman was breaking multiple housing codes. 1 month later, a neatly written complaint was filed, not by one person, but by 5 of us, together. The inspection came like a quiet storm. Housing authority, fire safety, even the municipal office got involved. Turns out charging couples double was discrimination. Renting a windowless room, flat out illegal, harassment texts, they documented those too. Sandra went from barking orders in the basement to begging inspectors for leniency. She was fined thousands, forced to shut down 2 rooms, and every single tenant got their deposits back, including me. The best part? She couldn't legally rent out the property again without major, expensive renovations. When my partner finally moved out, we walked past that house one last time. Curtains drawn, empty, dead silent. That place wasn't a prison anymore. It was her problem now. Revenge doesn't always have to be loud or messy or illegal. Sometimes the most satisfying payback is just making sure the law finally notices the people who think they're untouchable. If this story made you feel just a little less powerless, smash that like button. Tell me in the comments. Have you ever had a landlord or boss you wish karma would visit? And of course, subscribe, because next week I've got a story about a roommate who stole thousands and ended up paying the price.